What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another Arisen video. Today, we are going to be discussing how to do bugs and glitches. These can be super strong and super annoying to deal with, and they are kind of a learning curve, but in my opinion, the more people know them, the better it is for everyone. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So first, what we can go over is kind of how bugs are initiated and how they're continued. So from my understanding, the way a bug is started is you have to do an attack that if that attack was landed on a player, it would change animation. So basically a grab. So for example, we have Titanus Goji, right? So if I do the running attack with Titanus Goji and I land it on somebody, the animation changes, right? So what you're going to want to do is do an attack like that, but you're going to want to do it to nothing and immediately hold block afterwards. And what that's going to do is it's going to confuse the game into thinking that you're queued to change animation. So for example, that same attack that I just landed on the Heisei dummy, if I do that attack at nothing and I immediately hold block, I'm queued for a bug right now. So now that I'm holding block, what I can do is I can stack attacks. And I can start doing attacks over and over. As long as I am doing multiple attacks layered onto each other, the bug will continue and it won't end. And that doesn't just go for attacks, that goes for any action in the game. So if I hold block and I do a roar, the bug will keep going. And as long as the attack is being chained and there's no interruption, it'll keep going. So now, if I stop, right, and I try to do it again, it's over. So if we look right here, this is kind of the visual way I've figured it out. So you start the bug right here, right? And all of these are the animations for an attack or an action. As long as they're overlapping onto each other, the bug will not stop. As soon as you have a new animation that is not overlapped, the bug will end. Now, this rule of thumb for initiating the bug can be usually applied to any kaiju that is able to do it. So for the last one, it was the running attack. Obviously, in the intro, you saw the tail attack was used. For Striker, it's actually the grab attack. So I do the grab, right? And now I'm holding block. Now, anything I do afterwards is going to initiate a bug. So I can do the running attack. I can chain that into the hit, right? I can run around doing this. I can hold block and then do the, the standing roar. It's the same thing every time. So as long as an attack is chained, the bug is going to keep going, right? So it works for Striker in this case. Striker is really annoying because you can use this to chain your ultimate. Knife Head is going to be another kaiju with a grabbing attack that can be used to initiate a bug. So we're going to do the 2, instantly hold block. You'll know that you're ready for the bug usually when you're holding block and you're able to move at a normal speed. So then you can chain it into a run, a jabbing attack, a throw, block break, continue the block break. Keep it going with the roar. And same thing, like as long as I keep attacking, I can keep bugging. Now what gets really strange is that there are a couple of exceptions when it comes to how to start a bug for kaijus. The biggest one being Squid. So Squid has a really weird one where you actually use the fast dash into a block, which isn't a grab at all, but nevertheless, this is how you do it. So you do the lunge, hold block, and then what's most commonly done is you can now move around during your ult. And this is one of the most annoying bugs in the game because you can do this, you can go up and get a grab and then turn that into a block break and then dash away, right? And then same thing, I can hold block, click R, and just continue to combo. It's extremely annoying. But that's one exception. There's one more exception that I'll show you in a second. So with the other criteria that I've discovered for starting a bug, it usually involves an attack that lets you hold block really quickly after the attack animation is completed. Something about that confuses the game again, making it think that, you know, you're queued for animation when you're not. So with Obsidious, it actually involves the beam. So what you'll do is do the beam, and then right when the beam ends, you hold block, and that initiates the bug, and you can use that to, you know, do your roar. You can do kind of one of these, and then you can initiate your alt and actually move around during it, which is really annoying. But that's, you know, one of the two exceptions where it's not actually a grab attack that starts the bug. It's more of a early block kind of bug. And there's one kaiju that I know of that actually uses its ult to start a block, which I'll show you right now. So if we take Gigan and we do our ultimate, we can't do it if we land it on somebody, but you do your ult, you wait to drop, and then hold block. See how we could hold block really early? That initiates the bug. So now because of that, we're in bug mode, and then you can use that to kind of chain attacks. Be extra annoying. Not the most useful because Gigan just isn't really good at continuing the block after you use the roar, but still just an interesting proof of concept. And then the absolute worst, and in my opinion, most easy kaiju to bug with is going to be Eva. So Eva actually has 3 different ways of bugging. The most annoying one is the gun. So you pull out the gun, you know, shoot your enemy, you know, kind of shred armor. And then with the gun, as soon as you press, in my case, I'm on keyboard, as soon as you put the gun away, any attack you do immediately afterwards will initiate a bug. So you can put it away, dash, you know, do the grab, you know, hit, right, and then you can do a backflip, and then, right, same thing, hold block, and do your roar, and then now the bug is continued. Do the roar, hold block again. It's extremely annoying because with the gun, it's like you're basically starting the bug by threatening people with damage and breaking their shield. The second way is, you know, like the other ones, you use a grab animation. So in this case, it's going to be the 3 attack. So you do this, hold block, and then just continue it with an attack. You know, in this case, it's the roar. You know, do that. Extremely annoying. That's the second way to do it. The third way kind of is a little bit more niche, but you actually use the lunging front flip attack, which I'll show you right here. This is more if you're low as Eva and you want to do the trick with the ult where you're moving. But you basically just do this and you can do roar immediately after. But this doesn't do like a normal bug. It just kind of lets you roar while moving. But if you're low HP and you're crawling around, doing the 2 and then mashing your ultimate right after, it lets you move around during it. But yeah, the 2 main ways to do it are, you know, with the gun like that, or with the grabbing attack like the other kaijus. Now, if you've never really played this game, you might be wondering, okay, well, you can do a bunch of attacks. Big whoop. Why is that so annoying? Well, it's annoying because if you're smart and your opponent doesn't know how to counter it, you can basically, you know, nullify the weaknesses of your kit, right? So, for example, if I'm MG and I'm fighting this guy, right? I can start the thing, and I can hit and then go into beam. So now I can move away while my beam is charging, and if he wants to beam me, I can block while the beam is going off. So now all of its armor is shredded, and then I can go into this attack, I can hit, I can run, and after all of that, I can do R and keep it going, and keep abusing him, right? I can hit him with the tail and follow up during it. You know, so it's annoying because it allows you to just 100% abuse an opponent, and there's nothing, like, if your opponent can't bug, there's really nothing they can do because it's not like an alt where you have to wait a really long time to initiate it. It's like, you're using an attack in your kit, so you're gonna be able to like just do it, right? Like I can just keep doing it. And if he's ready, right, I can do this and make it take a little bit longer, and then I can, if he tries to run away, I can run up to him while the beam is going off, and then, catch him. And right, like he has to block this, and then all of his block is gone, and I can just keep attacking him and keep stacking attacks. So it's really, really frustrating to fight against. And really my whole point of making this video is I want to empower the people who play this to kind of have more knowledge of what they're dealing with, and because at the end of the day, right, like anybody can do it. Anybody can do these bugs. It really just takes practice. It's probably going to get patched out, but because nothing is being done about it right now, in my opinion, the only way to kind of solve the solution and make it easier for everybody to deal with this kind of thing is to just empower them with the knowledge and allow them to learn it themselves. So that's really my goal with this, is to just kind of empower you with knowledge a little bit. So with that being said, what are some of the best and worst options to bug with? Couldn't be one of my videos without a super over-analyzing tier list, right? So we're going to really quickly just go over the strongest and weakest bugs in the game, just to kind of give you more of a mental reference. So with Satchel, I haven't found a really consistent way to bug with Satchel. The one time that I've been able to do it on accident is where you do your alt beam and you immediately attack afterwards, but it's really inconsistent. I haven't been able to replicate it, so for that I need to put it at really no bug. If there is a way to bug with it, it would be pretty strong, just because a lot of its attacks do high block damage and have good range. So, but just because I haven't been able to replicate it really, I have to put it in no bug. Gigan is going to be okay to, I would be leaning on doesn't change much, just because Gigan's attacks are really too fast and too sporadic to kind of keep the bug going, and it's just kind of it's just spammy. It's not like a you can keep the bug going, and you need to do your alt to do it, which kind of leaves you open to a lot of ranged attacks. So for that, I have to put it in okay. Cherno, kind of the same thing with Satchel. I have not seen anybody be able to consistently bug with Cherno, so for that I need to put it in no bug. MG is going to be one of the best bugs in the game. I mean, if you fought a good player who's bugging and you have no way of countering it, you are almost always dead, and there is nothing you can do, because the MG can charge its beam, it can walk away really fast, charge its beam, it can do block damage. Its roar lasts really long, so it can keep the bug going. It can also use the bug to be invulnerable while charging its ult, which can get it out of a lot of situations, which is really broken. This is one of the best bugs in the game. I mean, if you're trying to, counter somebody who's bugging, you can use this thing. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Moving on. Magma Mutant is kind of also okay. The thing with Magma Mutant is that it doesn't really have the same ability to chain its attacks consistently like the other kaijus. So it's a bit harder to kind of get away with stuff when you're bugging. With that being said, it can be useful for getting your ult off, because you can move during your ult and kind of block, which kind of makes its ult a bit more useful. But besides that, it doesn't have a lot of utility with the bug, so I have to put it in okay. JJB has a bug. The thing with JJB is that it's when you get its bug off, it's really strong because it has a lot of slow attacks that last a long time. The only problem is JJB's bug is so hard to get off that it's almost impossible to do consistently. With JJB, you have to pop the parry and instantly it's got to be like a frame perfect, like millisecond hold on block. It's almost impossible to do consistently. So I have to put it in doesn't change much, just because if you're in a pinch, like you're not going to get that bug off. It leaves you so vulnerable. Also, like if you just dead your parry like in the open, like you're gonna get countered. Like you're gonna get hit, and like somebody's gonna punish you. So I would just say it doesn't change much, just because it's impossible to get off. Another one of the best buggers in the game is MG21, solely because its attacks last really long, and the attack that you use to initiate the bug, which is like the running block break grab, it's so good because you can run away and start the bug and then roar to continue. Its roar lasts really long. It has a lot of ranged attacks. You can do the tail. You can actually alt into thermo mode and actually move during your thermo pulse, which is super broken. So this is going to be one of the strongest options in the game. Um, Goro, from my experience, does not have a bug. There is a minor glitch you can use where after somebody attacks you in certain instances, you can move around during the ult. But it's really inconsistent. And same thing with Satchel. It's just not really something that's easy to replicate. So I have to put it in no bug, unfortunately. Ooh, this is a hard one to deal with. Striker, if you use Striker with the anime skin, I don't know what anime it's from. Kill me later, but if you use Striker with the anime skin and you bug with it, it is borderline unkillable because the hitbox is small. You do so much block damage. I mean, you can literally do your missiles and run at somebody and attack them while your missiles are stun locking them, and you can bug during the blade phase. So extremely, extremely broken. Probably second best bug in the game if you're also rocking the bugged skin. Super, super annoying to deal with. Ultima is an interesting one because Ultima actually does have a way of bugging, but it's really specific. Basically, you have to be fighting Titanus, and you have to pop your parry while Titanus is doing its block break with the stomp. And right after you hit the parry, you have to block and beam. And when you are able to do that ult, it's really good. Um, but just because you can only do it with like against one kaiju, it's super situational. I have to put it in doesn't change much, just because you're never gonna get it off. I've seen some people be able to do um, the bug where you can walk really fast during your beam, and that's really good. But that's not really consistent either. So unfortunately, I have to put it with JJB. Um, this thing doesn't have a bug as far as I know, so it's got to go down here. -1 doesn't have a bug either. In my opinion, -1 would benefit from a bug because it's just really bad. But Heisei actually does have a bug. You use the stomping block break to initiate it. It's okay. It's just kind of it like it doesn't move fast enough or like have enough range stuff to kind of use it properly. The only instance where I've seen it like be used is like if you beam somebody and then pop ult, but that ult takes charge anyway, so you have to work up to it. So I have to put it at okay. It's not really gonna, you know, like bugging with this thing is not really gonna elevate it that much. And it's already good. Like you don't really need to bug with this thing, but Knifehead is really funny because Knifehead has a bug that actually makes you unkillable. So if you initiate your bug with the grab, and what you have to do is you do your ult, and right before you stop running with your ult, you do your double hit. So your attack on 3 if you're on keyboard that goes. If you do that right before your ult run ends, you'll actually be unkillable. But there's two caveats to that. One is that you can't have already been in combat to do it. So if you're in combat and you try to do it, it won't work, as far as I know. Second thing is that while you're immortal, if you start attacking somebody, it'll end and you'll be able to be hit. But besides that, you can actually be unkillable during this. So my initial my initial response would be to put it in broken. But if you're in a fight, you're not going to be able to get that off and be immortal. However, you'll still be able to grab people like into like it's weird. Like experiment with it on your own, but like if you do the glitch and then start fighting somebody, you'll get them stuck in you. Pause. Like while you're fighting them normally. So it's kind of interesting. But you can definitely be kind of annoying with the knife head bug. So I'd probably put it kind of strong. Ooh, squid is really really strong, really strong. Squid, as you saw in my example earlier, like you can move around during the ult. The ult has crazy range, and you can do your lunge while the ult is charging up. Super super annoying. Um, I would have to put it here because you do kind of have to wait for your ult, so you're not going to be able to pop it every single time. But I mean, dude, it's like there's nothing you can do. There's unless you have an ult that gives you iframes, there's nothing you can do. So it's got to go up here. Shinagawa doesn't have a bug as far as I know. Kiryu, really really strong, really strong. If you're in rage mode and you have your good beam, you can start your bug with the close range block break, and you can do your beam and then jetpack into somebody and shred all of their block. It's super super devastating. Um, oh wait, this isn't Kiryu. This is Kiryu. Kiryu goes up here. Kiryu's super good. Not really broken just because Kiryu kind of um, like doesn't have the greatest mobility outside of its like dash and stuff. So these things bugging are gonna demolish this. Um, this Showa has a bug. It's just not. It's kind of the same as Obsidious. It's not really like usable. Um, so I got to put it right here. And then I mean this is the best. This is the best in the game. If you're fighting a bug Eva, you're just not going to win. If the Eva's good and he knows how to bug, you're just not going to beat him. Some of the best players in the entire game, they play Eva and they just bug on you. They use their gun, and you just don't beat them. It doesn't matter what you use. So yeah, that looks about right. So yeah, if you're trying to kill a bug abuser, bug with these things. Don't bug with any of these things. Now, the last question I want to raise is, will the bugs ever be patched out? Will the devs ever fix the bugs? Is it even possible? And my answer is yes, it's for sure possible. Because there are kaiju that have grab attacks and attacks where you can block really early that can't bug. So for example, Satchel. Satchel has 2 grabs. You can't bug with this one, right? Holding block, nothing happens. And it has this one. If I hold block, nothing happens, right? So the devs have the ability to put grabs without them being exploitable for bugs. They have the ability to do that. But just something about the way they've coded the game, it's just inconsistent. So what the devs would have to do is figure out why this guy has grabs that can't do bugs, but something like Titanus or MG21, their grabs create bugs. What they would have to do is take the coding for the attacks on Satchel, for example, right? And they would have to rewire that coding onto the rest of the kaiju in the game. So, do I think the bugs will be patched out? Yes, 100%. I definitely think that 6.0 could introduce that for sure, where they redo some of the attacks and make the bugs gone. Um, but in the meantime, you know, while we still have to deal with bugs, I think it's better if everybody knows how to do them than not. Because in my opinion, part of the reason why bugs are annoying, not just because they, allow you to attack a bunch. Part of the reason they're also annoying is because the people who know how to bug are already good. They already know how to fight you. They already know how to distance you and shred your block, right? They're already good. So the little advantage that bugs give you, it's just making it even more dominant for the good players, right? So in my opinion, it only helps the community on this game for everybody to just know it, right? So with that being said, I hope this video kind of helps you out a little bit. Um, and enjoy your time on this game. And thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day.